Well, welcome back to the kitchen here on Fat Daddy Sports. Today we are taking a look at a 10-team PPR draft on ESPN. I'm going to be honest with you guys right up front. ESPN is not a league that I have played on for a while now, probably 5 or 6 years. All of my main leagues, all of my money leagues, whatever, have moved over to Sleeper. I have moved them over to Sleeper. I used to play primarily on ESPN, a little bit of Yahoo here and there, but mainly got away from ESPN. We're going to go ahead. I know a lot of you guys use ESPN, and a lot of fantasy football content that I see out there is done on Sleeper or on Underdog for best ball. I don't see a lot of ESPN or Yahoo out there, so I'm going to give it a whirl. We're going to take a look at a 10-team PPR draft. I'm probably not going to stay in here for the entire thing. Probably draft just a few bench guys and then move on. But here we go. We are starting. We are on the clock. Pick number 2. This is an easy Bijan Robinson for me. We're going to, stick to Jahmyr Gibbs or Bijan Robinson, whoever you can get at that 2 position. This is going to go a little bit quicker, hopefully, than some of my other mock draft videos that you guys have been loving. Obviously, on Sleeper, unless you manually fill that lobby with some friends, you're drafting against all bots. We'll see here how this goes today. Sometimes you get some crazy draft picks. Some guys are in there just messing around, and they'll take a kicker with their first 5 picks or something. But nonetheless, we are moving right along. Jahmyr Gibbs, Bijan Robinson, Jamar Chase, JSN, McCaffrey, Puka, and Taylor. So pretty by the book for the most part through the first 8 picks. Vince's spirited team is on the clock here at pick 9. We'll see who he ends up going with. But I really like that two position this year. The 1-2, you're splitting hair between Gibbs and Bijan. I like having first choice in round 2 between, who you get at the back end of that 2. And I always like being on the turn somewhere. I like having 2 picks kind of back to back or within a few picks of each other, but we'll see where we end up. The last couple mock draft videos, they did get away from us a little bit. Not my favorite teams that I drafted, but we'll see if we can make this one a little bit better here. We will continue waiting here for the auto picks. These should start going a lot faster now, but we are in right now with Bijan Robinson. Currently on the board, Trey McBride, Saquon Barkley, Derrick Henry, Omarion Hampton, and Breece Hall. We'll take a look at the wide receivers really quick. This is super clunky to me. I don't use ESPN, like I said. Nico Collins is the best available wide receiver. We're going to go ahead and take Derrick Henry, a sure thing, a guy that should score a lot of touchdowns, should have a lot of rushing yards this year for the Ravens. Could have went with Saquon. I like Saquon there. I like Hampton. I've talked extensively about my love for Omarion Hampton, but we'll stick with that. And then after that goes Trey McBride and Saquon Barkley. So we are back on the clock now. Brock Bowers is sitting there. He goes a little bit later on ESPN. I did know that. But we're going to take a look at the wide receiver position, and we are going to shore up our wide receiver 1. We're going to go ahead and take Nico Collins. So through the first 3 picks, we are sitting with Bijan Robinson, Derrick Henry, and Nico Collins. I like that start. I like having those 2 running backs out of the way early in the draft. I feel like that wide receiver position is a lot more deep in those middle rounds. I would think here in round 4 and 5, we'll be able to still get some good wide receiver value. Who knows, maybe a running back falls to us there, but I typically, as you guys know, like to wait on that tight end and wait on the quarterback position. I have seen some videos where quarterbacks are vastly different on ESPN than they are on Sleeper. A lot of positions are very different. So we'll see how this thing all shakes out. But I've seen things where guys are going a round and a half or 2 rounds different between ESPN and Sleeper. Maybe we will mix in a Yahoo video here. That is a platform that I have played on for years, decades. I've never really loved it. It has gotten better than what it used to be, I will say that. And I do love their new edition of college football this year. I think that's a really cool touch. I think they could tweak a lot of that stuff because the player pool is just so massive. Obviously, your league can fine-tune things, but I would like to see being able to just play like one or two conferences. That would be really cool. All right, we are almost back on the clock here. After my pick of Nico Collins went Bowers, Hampton, Neighbors, Javonte, Brees, Olave, A.J. Brown, Zay Flowers, Garrett Wilson, Travis Etienne Jr., Josh Allen, Tet McMillan, Cam Scatterbo, and Josh Jacobs. George Pickens just went, and Devonta Smith just went. So we're looking at Kyren Williams, Quinshon Judkins. There's some good value there at the running back position. I'm actually going to go ahead and take that. I'm going to take Kyren Williams. I think the touchdown upside is going to be there for the Rams. I think, I would have liked to take a wide receiver there, but I do think there's going to be some good wide receiver value coming back to me here in two more picks. There's a lot of good wide receivers on the board at the moment. Ibuka is still there. Devontae is still there. Lad McConkey, Terry McLaurin. T. Higgins is really far from his ADP on Sleeper, I believe. But Ibuka goes next after my pick of Kyren Williams. And we'll see who Sean's smart team takes here. He goes with Quinshon Judkins. So that leaves me with Devontae Adams, Lad McConkey, Terry McLaurin. I do really like Devontae Adams a lot, but I just took Kyren Williams. Devontae's age scares me a little bit, and I do think that Chargers offense is going to be really good. So I'll go ahead and take Lad McConkey as my wide receiver 2. And we are looking at a team of Bijan Robinson, Derrick Henry, Nico Collins, and Lad McConkey. Obviously, the age with Derrick Henry scares me a little bit, so I really didn't want to have two old guys in Derrick Henry and Devontae Adams. So we'll diversify a little bit there, have Lad McConkey join the squad, and now we're set with two wide receivers, two running backs through the first 4 rounds. That's something that I typically like to do. Through the first 5 rounds. I forgot that we took Kyren Williams there right before Lad McConkey. So, I really like the start. I've got 3 good running backs in Robinson, Henry, and Kyren. Lad McConkey and Nico Collins are 2 guys that I think could have a ton of targets this year for their respective teams. Obviously, the Texans just lost Jaden Higgins to that. I think it was a knee injury, right? ACL injury. A lot of hype for him in camp, and now they're going to look to fill that wide receiver 2 role. Maybe it'll be Tank Dell. Maybe it'll be somebody else. But right now, the opportunity is very, very good for Nico Collins. And I think that run game is going to be better this year, should help out the passing game a little bit. Nico had a really solid year last year. I think had he had some more touchdowns, had the Texans had some more touchdowns, he would have been up there in that top 5. So I'm really happy with him as my wide receiver 1. Lad McConkey, I've talked about at length this year. That Chargers offense, I think, is going to be really, really good. And I think Lad McConkey could have a ton of targets this year. We will wait here. This should go pretty quick here. These next few picks are auto picks. But after Lad McConkey went Devontae Adams, Bucky, Rome, McLaurin, Waddle, Warren, Higgins, DJ Moore, Loveland, Montgomery, Tootin, Daniels, May, Hurts, Jackson, and Jadarian Price. It's a little bit of a run of quarterbacks there. We are left now with Jameson Williams, a high upside guy, Luther Burden, who I really like, but the injuries scare me a little bit there. DeAndre Swift, Travion Henderson. We're going to go ahead and pick a guy who I don't typically pick in a lot of drafts. We're going to go with J-Mo. For the Lions, Sam Laporta banged up right now. Should be good to go for week 1, but we'll see how that turns out. Luther Burden would have been a good pick there. His injury scares me a little bit. Hopefully he'll be back for this season sooner than later. But after J-Mo goes Carnell Tate, and Sean's smart team is still back on the clock. We'll see who he ends up going. He goes with Mike Evans. So now we are sitting there. Burden has fallen to us. Swift would be a very good pick there. Travion, I like the upside there. We're going to go ahead and take a guy. These are quick turnarounds here. I think we get, 20 seconds, 30 seconds maybe. We're going to take the gamble on Luther Burden. The injury scares me a little bit, but I've got some depth there with Collins, McConkey, and J-Mo. Swift would have been an okay pick, but I really liked my running backs a lot there. Travion had a lot of upside. I tend to lean more towards the upside players in that situation because my starters are so solid that I feel like I can wait a little bit on a guy that maybe takes a little bit longer to get going. And I think that Luther Burden is a perfect pick in that situation. He's got the injury that he hopefully will be coming back from sooner than later. And I think once he is a full go, he's going to dominate this year. We will wait here. Let's take a look at who's gone after Burden. Went Joe Burrow, Kyle Pitts, Harold Fannin, Laporta, DeAndre Swift, Henderson, Parker Washington, Cortland Sutton, Matthew Stafford, Trevor Lawrence, Ramondre Stevenson, Michael Pittman, Harrison Jr., Alec Pierce, Christian Watson, and is back on the clock to me. Look at the quarterback real quick. Dart, Prescott, Nix are all there. We don't have a whole lot of time to look around, so let's take a look. What's the running back situation looking like here? Jaylen Warren, a little early for me to take a guy like Jaylen Warren. We are in round 8. We're going to go ahead and take Dak Prescott as our quarterback. Maybe a little bit of a panic move there. I was trying to look around at who was available, who wasn't available. But we will go with Dak as our quarterback. Obviously, in a real draft, you're going to have a little bit more time than this. So I would have liked to wait a little bit. We do still need a tight end. I really don't like any of these guys here. Probably going to be waiting on tight end. May just completely punt and take somebody late in the draft, like an Isaiah Likely, like Terrence Ferguson. We'll see how it all shakes out. Rico Dowdle gets picked, and now we are back on the clock here. We are looking at a guy who I believe at the running back position is a guy with a lot of upside, like I talked about. Let's take a look. Jonathan Brooks, somebody that I just talked about. We can wait on him and have a little bit of a slow start. Chuba is banged up right now with that hamstring issue. Maybe Jonathan Brooks is the guy week 1. I don't know, but I think taking him in the 9th round is a really, really good pick. He's kind of going all over the boards right now. People are taking him up in the 5th, 6th round. I think that's kind of crazy, but I do think you're going to have to reach for a guy like Jonathan Brooks if you want him on your team this year. Now have our 3 bench players. We'll probably just do 4 bench players. We do still need a tight end. Oh, Tucker Kraft just went. I guess I missed him on the list there. I would have really liked Tucker Kraft on the team, but we still need our tight end. We will grab him here in just a second when it comes back to me after this run of auto picks. And this is what you get when you get into these lobbies. I wanted to avoid the bots, and that's why I came over to ESPN. Sometimes you do that, sometimes you don't. These guys get on auto draft. We will wait and see who Chad's cool team takes here in the next 5 seconds. So the run of auto picks is now over. We are looking at Dallas Goedert, Travis Kelce, Jake Ferguson, Mark Andrews, Isaiah Likely still there. We still need a bench position here. We're going to go ahead and take a guy in J.K. Dobbins, who is the starter in Denver. I think that shores up my team really, really well. We're going to be back on the clock here at the tight end position in just a second. This will be our final pick. I'm not going to bore you guys with all these bench positions. Obviously, your league is going to have more bench positions. I'm just going to go with 4 today just to avoid being here all day. I like Dallas Goedert a lot. I'm a little nervous about that passing offense. Jake Ferguson has shown things. Travis Kelce, I think, will be a top 10. But I'm going to take the upside on a guy who I've been super high on all offseason in Isaiah Likely out in New York for the Giants, or New Jersey for the Giants. And that should round out my squad. Obviously, don't have a defense or a kicker or those last few bench spots. But we'll take a look really quick. We've got Dak Prescott at the quarterback, Bijan and Derrick Henry as my starting 2 running backs, Nico Collins, Lad McConkey at the wide receiver positions, Isaiah Likely at tight end, Kyren Williams at the flex at the moment, and then the bench is Jameson Williams, Luther Burden, Jonathan Brooks, and J.K. Dobbins. I really like this team a lot. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think, who you would have picked differently than me. But I really liked my starting group here. I feel like there's a lot of solid players there. And then I like the upside of my bench players, a guy like Jameson Williams, who finishes as a wide receiver 2 almost every year. He obviously has his big games and his dud games, but I like having that little bit of volatility there. Luther Burden, same story. If he is fully healthy, I think he's going to dominate this year. And then Jonathan Brooks, same thing. J.K. Dobbins offers a little bit of safe play there at the last pick. Let me know down in the comments what you would have done differently. Let me know if you guys play on ESPN, if you play on something else that you want to see a mock draft on. Let me know, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. See ya.